15th, 2025. It's 10 o'clock Pacific time, and I'm on the phone with Bruce from Denver, and we're going to interview for the posterity of Aquarian Foundation and for the historical records. So hi, Bruce, and thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Catherine. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you honoring us to do this interview for us today. If you don't mind, I'll jump right in with the questions.
I don't mind at all.
Okay, my first question is, how did you find out about Aquarian Foundation?
Well, in early 1979, I had moved to Portland, Oregon, and was looking for spiritual meaning. I saw an ad in the local Yellow Pages for Aquarian Foundation and attended a Wednesday spiritual healing service.
And so from attending that service, what is it that attracted you to the church from that point on? Was it the teaching, the physical phenomena, the subject matter? What was it that drew you in? Well,
to start out, yes to all three. In addition, I was attracted to the liberating nature of the teachings backed up by evidential spiritual phenomena. I liked a scientific approach to spiritual truth.
Okay, so those are the things that drew you into the church. Was the scientific nature or the liberating aspect or just all of them?
Yeah, as I said, yes to all three you mentioned, plus the ones I mentioned as well.
Okay, so when did you actually become a member of Aquarian Foundation, join the church?
May 7th, 1979.
What inspired you to join Aquarian Foundation?
Well, I guess it would be a combination of the answers to questions 2 and 3. Combine those together, those are what really inspired me.
And when did you, having joined Aquarian Foundation, when did you first see physical phenomena?
I saw it in September of 1985 in Anchorage, Alaska.
Do you want to expand on what it is that you saw then?
Yes, I do, but I will do that in example 1.
So what was your reaction when you saw the physical phenomena for the first time?
One word, amazement.
That's a good one.
I'd never seen anything like that before, and I found it amazing when I first encountered it.
Wow. Can you tell me what happened?
With the weeping oils, that'll be in example 1 after the questions.
Okay, all right. So that was the first physical phenomena that you saw was the weeping oils?
Yes.
Okay, great. What benefits have you derived from being in Aquarian Foundation?
Well, many, but to be specific on certain examples, consciousness expansion, negative karmic release, finding my mission in this lifetime. This is an important one as well. The importance of transmutation, which the church has many wonderful teachings about, and personal spiritual healing I've received would be the main ones probably. Well, it's been a blessing in my life in a major way.
So you were talking a little bit earlier about examples that you have. Would you like to share those?
Absolutely.
For the historical records and for the posterity of the church, from what those experiences are and what they've meant, whatever that is for you. If you want to just expand it, I'll keep quiet and you can just go ahead and share some stories with us.
Yeah, it would be more a kind of a boiled down description of phenomena, not as much my reaction to it. Okay. So before I get into those, I'm going to put kind of a little clarification here. Due to repetition, for convenience, I've used KMR to represent Keith Milton Reinhardt.
Okay, so Master Kamara. Mm-hmm.
Right, and I have 6 examples of genuine KMR phenomena. Example 1. September 1985, Anchorage, Alaska, Aquarian Foundation Parsonage. That's where I experienced the weeping oils physical phenomena. In the basement of the parsonage, around 16 or more pictures were weeping oil that manifested as various shapes and sizes on images of Jesus, Count Saint Germain, and KMR. Video cameras were placed in the room to film this ongoing weeping phenomena that continued for a few days. Some oil patterns expanded in size over time. Others changed shapes as they grew. I viewed the pictures close up and in good lighting. After the weeping phenomena ended, I was directed to send specific weeping oil pictures to specific cities. Denver was fortunate to receive a weeping Count Saint Germain picture. This weeping oil phenomena began before Bill Howard and I arrived in Anchorage for spiritual training with KMR. That's example 1. Example 2 is spring of 1986, Hollywood, California, Aquarian Foundation Chapel. This phenomenon involves trance piano playing by a non-piano playing medium. It took place in the evening. One evening in the Hollywood Chapel while it was undergoing renovation, KMR was standing by the piano conversing. He became silent for a few seconds and then sat down at the piano and played a piece of wonderful music. This surprised me because KMR didn't know how to play the piano as far as I knew. I thought to myself, he must have learned to play. Thinking I was still talking to KMR, I said, play some more, which he promptly did. I only realized it had been Count St. Germain playing the piano all along through an entranced KMR when Count St. Germain spoke through KMR's mediumship. What a happy surprise. It was Count St. Germain who had played the celestial music. I thought it was extremely gracious and generous of him. So I determined that Count St. Germain had entranced KMR in the few seconds before he sat down at the piano. Count St. Germain's music was beautiful, healing, and inspiring. I recall that a few other people were also present. Example 3, daytime 96 Hollywood, Aquarian Foundation Chapel. This involved a trance phone call. I was in the Hollywood Chapel talking on the telephone to a Hollywood member. Suddenly, Count St. Germain joined our call. Count St. Germain asked if we minded if he joined our call, and of course we had no objections. The member and I were surprised and delighted with Count St. Germain's participation. He shared some helpful thoughts after which the call ended. As an aside, I'll include that I knew that KMR was on the line in another room at the time, entranced by Count St. Germain, and that's how Count St. Germain got on the phone call. I concluded. So it was a delightful experience, and he was so gracious. What a gentleman! He asked if we minded if he joined our call. So the perfect gentleman in every way. Example 4. It mentions actually 3 examples. I'm kind of combining them together because they're very similar. These examples would take place between spring of 1986 and early July of 89. And so they involved, I should make clear, they took place in Hollywood, California, Aquarian Foundation Chapel and Parsonage, and were manifestations of trance phenomena. So during those few years, on 3 separate occasions, Count St. Germain entranced KMR about 10 minutes or more while guiding and dispensing wisdom to the members present. On each occasion, he walked and talked through KMR. These took place at various times over those years. Example 5, early 1986, Honolulu, Hawaii, KMR's property, trance phenomena took place in the evening. This one I find kind of amusing. It seems so real in the world. So I was sitting in KMR's Ilokai property with KMR, who had been trying to get a point across to a spiritual leader over the telephone. They ended their call, and shortly after, Count St. Germain entranced KMR and called the leader back. He shared some master insight with the now more aware spiritual leader. No one else was present at that call. Example 6, I believe was in 1987, Grand Canyon, USA. It took place in the daytime and is a manifestation of trance phenomena. A small group of Aquarian Foundation members helicoptered to the edge of the Grand Canyon and hiked a short distance to the seance site. KMR faced away from the canyon while seated. His back was only several feet from the canyon edge. And I remember thinking, he's really close to the rim. The sitters formed a rough arc facing KMR, but at a significantly greater distance from the canyon's edge. Viewed from above, I was located nearest KMR on the left end of the arc, whose open end faced the canyon. Recollection is about 8 people participated in this amazing seance. I recall 2 ascended masters spoke through the entranced KMR, who was literally trusting his life to them, not too many feet from the canyon's rim. It was an example of very brave mediumship by KMR. After the seance, we left on the same helicopters we flew in on. And those are my 6 phenomenal Master KMR experiences that I wanted to kind of share today.
It's fantastic and phenomenal for sure. I know it's called physical phenomena, but it is phenomenal. The things that Master KMR and the real ascended masters demonstrated through that. So in all of those things that you saw and experienced, how did that affect your life or your life stream or your life journey or your spiritual journey? How did those actually impact you as a human being on the planet, and how did that affect how you move forward in life?
Sure. Well, again, I'll probably refer partially to question 8
Mm-hmm.
about the benefits you derive from being in the church, and my answer to that, those are many of the results and positive effects of those calls. But in a way, it just really sunk in to me how rare genuine phenomena of that nature is, and what a special blessing it is to be part of it. I'm convinced in my mind that churches and organizations genuinely connected with the real ascended masters are extraordinarily rare, and I felt very fortunate that this is, for my mind, the best example of that on the planet.